Hello, I'm Frost, and welcome to my in-depth series for Age of Wonders Planetfall. This is episode 2 of my DLC special covering the Shirkan and the Heritor secret tech. As always, with episode 2, we do a recap. We're at turn 31, and we've been making good progress. I have met all of my opponents. And as you can see on the list here, I've got Kirko, Shirkan, Syndicate, Amazon, and Vanguard. So no Assembly and VAR. And we're getting on pretty well with everybody. My main concern is Chin, who's over to the west, who's encroaching on my territory. That's the Kirko. But he is currently at war. If I click on him, he's currently at war with Femita and with Vorath of the Shirkan. And I have good relationships with both of them. Now, I do have a non-aggression pact with Chin, but I may choose to break it if he becomes too troublesome. And I know that I'll have Vorath and Femita on my side. Raxoni who is to the south of me, has been causing me problems on and off. But at the moment, she seems busy with other things, so that is fine. In terms of the research, as you can see, I've got pretty much all the tier 3 stuff done for military. I'm currently doing holotech applications, which is going to give me weighted holograms for the infiltrator, which is going to be handy because if you've watched episode 1, you know I haven't been able to use my infiltrators because we've been fighting mechanical units mostly units from the Forgotten. And with this, I can now holo shift mechanical units. So that's kind of really, really useful based on what we've had so far. Then in terms of society research, once again, done all my tier 1s, tier 2s. Obviously, I'm training up Dawn of the Union as a priority because so that I can get my hero resurrection protocols in case I want to do sites. But then I really do want to come back to colony infrastructure and get my Cosmite. And we always want Cosmite. We never have enough Cosmite. And then move on to operation effectiveness. I also don't want to discount my covert ops as the Shirkan do get bonuses to covert ops. Then I'm currently just doing a mission for the Spacers, which is just over here. And as you can see, I've got an army on the way to deal with that. I can see that also I have a Cosmite spot here that I could acquire, which will give me obviously a +5 Cosmite if I acquire that. If I zoom out, we should be able to see that. There we go, grants +5 Cosmite. But I need to make sure that I've got enough influence. I've only got 32 at the moment, but that is worth getting for definite. Now, the other thing I'm dealing with is these spore clouds. So you can see I've got one right now that I'm busy removing. This happened in a world event in part 1. And it drops spore clouds in loads of sectors just around or on the edges of my own colonies, which I now need to acquire. Here's another one right here. And I think there's one near my capital as well, just right here in Helicon Heights. So I need to get those removed. There is also up here an orbital defense uplink, which could benefit all of my colonies. And that will take 23 influence for me to take. In terms of my abilities and my units, I have kind of 2 armies at the moment. This one with 2 heroes. I have another army up here, this time just with the 1 hero. Mostly all Shirkan units. I have 1 Heritor unit here. And I have inherited 1 Spacer unit as well from completing a quest. So that brings us up to date. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be moving, in fact I could do that right now, in preparation to attack this quest. I want this other army here, Marauder army, to move away. So I'm not having to fight both together because obviously they're in adjacent hexes. Once I've done that, once he's moved away, I can then attack that, complete my quest, and maintain my relationship with the Spacers, especially as I'm starting to build on territory right next to them. But the good thing is if you could see on my NPC factions, I haven't actually met any other NPC factions at the moment. So that is really to my benefit because it means it's much easier to maintain a good relationship. And so we're going to see. And in fact, I have to say as well, I mentioned about the infiltrators fighting Forgotten. That was actually on my stream. I kind of got them mixed up. So no, my infiltrators have not been fighting any mechanical units in episode 1. I did that on my Twitch stream, but it's still good to have. All right, so that gets me up to date. So that was a quick sort of 5 or 6 minutes, but it's worth it just to lay down the ground. And now we can move on. And I will catch up with you in a couple of turns once we've made some progress. So I moved forward a couple of turns. I completed one of the quests for the Spacers, and I got another quest, and I sent in 2 armies, and I'd lost a couple of units dealing with the other army beforehand, and I sent in an auto combat. As you can see, I came out pretty bad here. I lost 3 units, which I didn't really want to lose. I had a raider that was rather well ranked, as well as an infiltrator that disappeared, and also my Heritor drained. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this as manual combat. So we're going to retry and see how we do. I'd like to try and put some manual combat into these in depth. I don't try and do too many, as otherwise the videos would get far too long. But we're going to be dealing here with primarily the Dvar and the Vanguard. So obviously the Vanguard have got their benefit of their troopers with their overwatch and also their range. But hopefully I can use that to my benefit. Now, I can now take over with my infiltrator. I can take over mechanical units, but they have to be tier 1 or tier 2. And this is a tier 3, so I can't actually do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hollow shift on the Vanguard, the troopers themselves. And then I can pop myself into an overwatch. There we go. And then this guy here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to call up, call Insider. What we may do is we'll move forwards a little bit. Yeah, and we'll call the Insider on the next turn. What I really want right now is just to make sure that I've got all my units covered with Overwatch. Then we're going to move our Shakan into cover. There we go. And my drained back here, we're going to just move as far forward as we can as well. I don't expect these to last very long, the Siphoners, but we can give it a go. They are very good at redirecting your essence. And finally the Recon, if we can get it far enough forwards to get a buoy, even if they destroy the buoy initially, at least it sort of distracts them and draws far away. Now this infiltrator is not looking too healthy to begin with, so we're just going to keep him back for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to deploy, I believe I've got some drone deployment modules. So we're going to deploy those, and then we can then heal our infiltrator on the next turn. And then this guy here, there we go, it's my drain. This is the guy that's pretty weak. So he doesn't stand a very good chance. So that's probably a good reason why he died earlier on. And then our hero, we're going to put on Overwatch because I have Deadly Sight with all of my units. So it makes sense to make use of that. And then we are going to pop this guy into defense mode. And then heal him, and then we can do a shift, a hollow shift. Right, so let's end the turn. We have got 5 tactical operations. It's not very many, but it might be enough to get us started. Right, obviously we've got the Dvar with their explosive damage, and the Bulwark can normally create quite a lot of damage as well. And the tank has very good lasers, as we see right there. So I'm not going to be healing my other unit. The one good thing is that hopefully we'll get a flank, so that will help us out. So let's look at our options in terms of our tactical operations. Now, replicating restoration is definitely one of the strongest ones, but I need all my units within 2 hexes of each other to be able to make use of that to do the repairs. But what we can try and do is, all friendly units in 3 hex radius gain 10% invasion. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and do that. Let's see what area I can grab. So I can... Okay, we're going to grab these 3 units and give them Hollow Illusion, which will hopefully keep them alive a little bit longer. And then we're going to try and get some flanking attacks if we can. I can't seem to get a shot from there, unfortunately, which would be nice. So we'll have to go to here, I think. There we go, we've got a 45% chance. And they're missing all the time, so that's not ideal. Okay, so let's call our Insider and get him placed already. Unfortunately, that's a full action point, so we can't use that unit now. Then, yeah, so I've lost all my opportunities to do anything with that unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our flying unit. And we're going to go for a flank, and obviously we can melt armor as I have that mod placed on pretty much all of my units. There we go. Get a good shot with the Omni Carbine. Good, and then we can probably get in a shot if I can just move forwards enough. There we go. So we've taken out the Bulwark. So that's a good sign to start with. Now this tank is going to be a problem. I obviously can't heal, so we're going to have to try and see if we can move somewhere where we can become a trooper. So let's do that, and let's hollow shift into another Vanguard trooper. And we can at least place Overwatch on the tank. And then we've got to be careful we don't hit our own unit here. So the Plague Pods obviously isn't going to really affect them that much. So we are going to have to look, we're going to have Sonar Repeater, which does 3 times 6. We have the Sonar Pulse, does 3 times 5. And we have a 1 times 12. So clearly the 3 times 6 is the one to go for. So we're going to do that. Okay, he's resisting the energy drain, which is unfortunate because obviously the energy drain gives me more damage when I call upon it. And I think that's going to end my turn. I think that's everybody moved. All right, so let's see how this plays out. Okay, Vanguards that flank are never a good thing. Vanguard troopers. Oh, at least we got a fumble. That's something. But I think these guys are going to get taken out. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a graze there. The pug is always an issue because they have the healing ability. Alright, so it's my turn. And I have Rite of Revitalization. So we're going to do it on these guys and give them a heal, as that's the only tactical operation that I have left. And then we've got to try and call these guys into action. So we're gonna get these little guys here to just do an attack. They're not going to do much damage, but at least they're going to be nearby so that they can distract, hopefully. Now, yeah, we get a pretty good hit with our hero, and it's a flanked as well. So I think we're going to try and work on this tank and get the tank out of the way. We should be able to, yeah, 90%. It looks like he's grazing him, but I think he's going to take him out. Good.
Enemy eliminated.
And luckily we're staying far enough back that we shouldn't have too many problems with these guys. So we're going to now just focus on this tank. Okay. And we'll get the Vanguard troopers on this side. We've got a 45% chance. Okay, so we're going to bring them in a little bit closer. 55%. It's not ideal, but we'll take it. I'm going to get a Sono Pulse, which I probably should have done first with my little recon because I believe he's got armor melt. Yeah. There we go. I should have done that first, and that would have done more damage with my troopers then. Hopefully we can finish it off with a hero now. So let's get the hero selected. And only a 5% chance? Wow. Is he... why is that? That must be because my unit's disoriented or something. 45% chance now. Let's see what I've got with 45. Okay, well, we're just going to have to take that and hope that the little guys, like the insiders that I think they're called insiders, these guys, my sleeper agents, hopefully they will be able to take the action. Now, let's see. Oh, here we go. I've got my Heritor at the back here that I didn't see, who still has some abilities, so I can restore some action points. So let's restore some action points to... who did the most damage? Actually, this little guy up here. He was doing really good. He was applying damage very well to the tank, so we will get... And now he misses. Come on, one more shot. There we go. All right.
Enemy eliminated.
Alright, so the recon did good. We're going to end our turn. We now have 2 Vanguard troopers. Oh, helps if I pay attention to my hero. Luckily I've got Dawn of the New Union coming, so we'll be okay. Right, so we'll do the Reverberating Dagger again with our sleeper agents. Then we're going to do the Sono Pulse from the little recon ship. And get the armor melt. Oh, I said the pug I don't think has any armor. Oh no, he's got some armor. There we go. Let's see if we can get our hero to do some damage as well. Wow, we're really struggling with that one. Okay, we go in with the assault rifle. Okay,
Enemy
good.
destroyed.
Now we can use our Heritor. We're just going to move him forwards as he has plenty of health. And do a siphon. And my hero over the side here, we can get him into a flanking position. And the Sono Pulse is only going to do that. 7. And the Plague Pods can't reach, so it's going to have to be the Sono Repeater. I'm going to miss. And that just leaves my troopers to come forwards and drop a shot. Alright, so I'm probably going to lose my recon, I think, on the next turn. It depends where these troopers are going to attack. Yeah, we're going to go for the recon, unfortunately. Yeah, that hurt a little bit. These sleeper agents are still going though. And they're going to get a kill, so that's good. Right, there's no point in hollow shifting at this point. I might as well just do damage. And we'll get our hero. Yeah, we're getting 85%. It's not even really worth flanking at this stage. I think I'm just better off just going in an all-out attack, which is what we're going to do. So if we move these troopers forwards, they should be able to finish off the job. No, not quite. Which just leaves this Heritor unit to be able to get into range, hopefully. Yeah, we can get into there. There we go. And that should be enough to finish them off. There we go.
Our forces are victorious.
Right. So that was that. And the end result is I came off with about the same results. I obviously lost my hero, but at least I can resurrect my hero. So I'm going to take that option, and that suits me just fine.
Objective complete.
So we're going to take the reward. So we've got a drone deployment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we have Dawn of the New Union already done. So that's good. So what we'll do is we'll do the Hero Resurrection Protocol. We'll prime that. And on the next turn, he'll be back and I can drop him in Silicon Valley. And it was as if nothing has ever happened. In the meantime, I'm busy building more units here. You can see at the moment I've got one Siphoner. I'm also building a Deadeye, and then I'm building another Raider. I will probably build another Raider on top of that. And I'm going to have to look as well at getting one of my other colonies kind of focused on production so that I can produce more units, as I'm very, very low on units at the moment. I have acquired a hero in the last couple of turns as well, so that's handy. What we're going to do is we're not going to bother with Call Insider, which is the thing that I use because it uses full actions, so I don't really think that is the best thing to use. So we're going to do Range Specialist for definite. And we are going to go, I think, with obviously melee Overwatch, don't have to worry because we're a flying unit. We'll go for Steady Aim and go from there. Alright, so that's where I'm at the moment. I can upgrade my commander as well, so let's do that quickly. Range Specialist for definite. There we go, we're going to confirm that. And then I'm going to get all my armies together, regroup my numbers, and at least we're starting to clear these areas. So you can see I've got rid of the Spore Cloud here. I'm working on this Spore Cloud. I then have this one to get rid of, and that should just about do it. All right, so I'll catch up again in a couple of turns, and we'll see where we go from there. We've now jumped forwards a few turns, so it was turn 34 when I left you. We're now at turn 40. What I've been doing is consolidating. Because I lost a few armies through these quests and so forth, it left me in quite a weak position. And it was causing me problems, especially with Vorath, as Vorath is an elitist, and the fact that I didn't have very good rankings in terms of military rankings, I kind of fell out of favor with him. In fact, I need to do a pronouncement now to just make sure that he stays happy. And so I've been basically, like I said, using my diplomacy, trying to keep everybody on board, keep everybody sweet. In fact, I could do the same for Raxoni as well. So we'll pay her a compliment. In the meantime, getting on fine with Chin and Ava. there is a good chance we may even head towards potentially an alliance in this situation, which would be great. Because I think the way I'm going to go, because normally once you get to about turn 40 to 50, you've got to decide which route you're going to take. And I think I'm going to go Doomsday Weapon. The reason why is, as you can see from the map, I'm nicely consolidated. Everything is tightly knit together. And especially I have 3 colonies. So I have Neo Aurora, which is my capital. I have Karkalos, Ivory Fortress, and Chrome Citadel. So if we just look at Chrome Citadel, Ivory Fortress, and Neo, I'm in a position where I could place my spires, or whatever, I can't remember what they're called, with what are they called? They're called link shards. There we go. Is that right? Is it a link shard? Hang on, I'm looking for the Rapture. There we go. It's this thing. There we go. An Essence Spire. There we go. So an Essence Spire for my Doomsday Weapon. I could put one in Crevice Extraction Ink. Or can I? I don't think actually I can place them in a landmark. So I may have to rethink that, because I wanted 3 colonies that were very close together where I could just protect them very easily. But because I can't place it in a landmark, I may have to rethink this. In which case it would probably be Silicon Valley, Ivory Fortress, and Karkalos, because then I can place one in Sapphire Summit, one in Campers Glen, one in Skyscrape Remains, and then I can park up in Karkalos, and from there I can protect all of the spires and all of the colonies themselves. So that's probably the route I'm going to go. I think that is definitely the best option. So what I'm going to probably want to try and do at some point is to take over this colony, which is an assembly settlement of the Xenoid. I can take that over, and because I'm on a shoreline as well, as you can see here, I'm pretty much protected. So then all I've got to worry is protecting from the south. I also need to get rid of this spawner nest, which has been causing me problems. And I believe there's a spore cloud there as well. Yeah, and there's a spore cloud as well, which I need to get round to removing at some point. So that's where I'm at. In terms of skills training, let's do the society first. I did accelerated force deployment, as that desperately needed doing, so that I can now got the transit infrastructure, so I can move quickly around my colony. And as I said, I'm going to do counter ops, intelligence gathering, counter ops, then operation effectiveness, then intelligence gathering, and then I will go back to anthropologic research to do my Cosmite. So as you can see, I've used up all of my Cosmite, building new units. And talking of new units, if we look at some of these units, I went and bought a Spacer Melter. As I had loads of influence, I thought, you know what, might as well keep on good terms with the Spacers. So I got this unit. It's actually a biological unit, but the acid bath is really good. It destroys armor, which a lot of my units do anyway. And it does a ton of damage. So I quite like this unit. And then what I did with my Raiders is I changed one of the modules over. So I've kept the one that melts armor. And then there's the one that does the Sonic module that does 10% damage. Replaced it with the Cute Pitch, which still does a status effect, does 20%. So I did have the laser mod on here, but I've removed it in favor of this in order to get the 20%, and I still do a status effect. So I'm happy with that, and that's where I've been spending all my Cosmite, is getting all my units upgraded. So I now have 2 full armies of 6, as you can see here. They're going on their way up to Dogged Docks to do a quest. I could actually just send 1 unit there, to be honest, 1 army, shall I say. And as you remember, they're amphibious, so I'm not going to have any problems because I got fast movement across transit infrastructure now. I'll be able to get right up to here and then straight over the water without a break. So that's great. Chin has been getting close on my borders, but Chin seems quite happy at the moment, so we're going to leave that as is, and we'll take it from there. Right, so I've moved forward to turn 43. I dealt with Dogged Docks, as you can see, and I'm bringing my armies back now as we speak. And one of the things that has happened is I've been called to war with Vorath. So Chin has asked me to go to war with him, and I've got to answer that call, and I'm going to accept, because clearly Vorath doesn't like me for one reason or another, even though he's a fellow lizard, but there we go. So I'm going to take the call to war, and I'm going to accept it, primarily because I have no idea where Vorath is. I can't see him on my map. I was introduced to him by one of the other players, and as he's nowhere near to me at the moment, I don't have to worry too much. So I will see what happens between Vorath and Chin, and if I think Chin is struggling, then I may have to go and help. Now I have a unit here that I just built, a little recon unit, so I'm going to go and head over towards Chin's territory and take a look, because I should be able to go through his borders. Hopefully he's given me open borders. If not, I'm going to have to ask for it, and see if I can spot Vorath and see if he's on the other side of Chin's borders. In the meantime, if you remember, I said that I needed to produce another production colony. So now Silicon Valley is set up to do production, as you can see there. Not the greatest stats, but it's not bad all the same. And as you can see, I'm busy adding all of my bonuses, my exploitation bonuses, both to Silicon Valley and to Neora. So you can see that's full up with all bonuses. And also I'm boosting up my military infrastructure for Neora in case Vorath comes out of nowhere and goes for my capital. Apart from that, all of my training is going ahead. I'm going to get the Firebrand in one turn. For that, I need to have the elite military facility, and I think I'm building it right there. Oh no, it's going to become available to me, I believe, once I get the Firebrand. So then I'll have to build it in both of these colonies, and obviously I'll push that up the list. I've got a little recon down here that's removing this hazard. I'm then going to remove the spore cloud that's here, as I would like to build another colony down here to act as a buffer to Silicon Valley, especially if Silicon Valley is going to become one of my Doomsday Weapon colonies. Then I'm also going to move these armies back down. So I'm going to stop by Helicon Heights on the way and create a forward base here, just so I get nice easy movement between Neo Korea and Chrome Citadel. Obviously I have this problem with this mountain range in the middle, and I don't have the Dvar where I can just flatten the mountain range, which is unfortunate. So all the time I'll have to go around. So there's probably another reason why not to use Neokora or Neora as one of my Doomsday colonies. So that's pretty much where I'm at. We will see what happens with Vorath. We will see what happens as well with looking at the colonies that belong to the Kirko. And yeah, oh, and the last thing I've got to do as well is I got myself operational effectiveness, so I get another doctrine. So at the moment I've got Homeward Reminiscence, which gives me the bonus to the rivers for the growth of my colonies, which has been great. I've got Inner Communion, which gives me 1 additional essence charge for my units, and as I'm using most of my units with Heritor Tech mods, that's pretty good. And then I got the Emissary, which gives me more influence, and the influence has been really handy, and I'm still going to need that if I'm going to take over that assembly colony. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do Secret State, which gives me +5 operational defense. And the reason why I want that is because over the last few rounds there's been a lot of energy siphons, a lot of fabricated Casus Belli, and I'm concerned that I'm being targeted. And I mean, I will be able to do the internal purge, and I'll add that into my list as well, but I'll make the Secret State my first call of order, and then need to start making sure that I get all my strategic operations up and running in case I get attacked anytime soon. And that ends at turn 43, and we will now move forward. We're now at turn 47. I've recruited another hero. I've moved this hero up to Karkalos. At the moment he's in a propagator, but he has got advanced piloting because I was able to spend 31 skill points straight away. So once I get the vehicle, which I believe is the Refractor, if I look, let's have a look. It is the Refractor, yeah, right up here. Once we get that unit, I'll be able to put him in a Refractor, which would be great. So I'll get him into a good mounted vehicle. And I'm also training up Elite Military Facility as well as the other Skirmisher Barracks and the Specialist Training Center for this colony as well, as I figure I might as well just have 3 colonies that are able to produce units. Especially at the moment, I'm very busy kind of shoring up my defenses and doing things like improve military infrastructure, etc. So that means it makes it much more difficult for me to create new units at short notice. And I'm going to bring these units round and then get rid of the spawner nest down here and just clear up this general area. I've got rid of the spawner nest that was in Helicon Heights. That's now gone. As you can see, I'm starting to float through the territory that belongs to Chin. So I can see exactly how many colonies he has, and also to try and find out where Vorath is. And talking of Vorath, what we're going to do is we're going to use Infiltrate Operations Center. Now, Obviously, we get that as we get bonuses on that with the Shakan. So we're going to launch that now, and we're going to try and put that on Vorath. And what it will do is, if we get that works for us, we get better odds with other other strategic operations as well. So we're going to launch that. And it failed. Okay. So the idea behind it was we would do that, and then we would do the disinformation campaign. But as you can see, I've only got a 45% chance. So I would rather do the disinformation, infiltrate operations center first. So what we'll do is we'll prime that now, and I'll give it another go and see if we can get that done on the next round. I also have things like my energy siphon, which I need to prime, so I'll do that now, and my research taps. But we'll make infiltrate operations center as the primary thing. And then I will try and start using, especially the research tabs. The research tabs would be really handy. I'm doing pretty good on energy at the moment. It's a little bit low there just because I've been priming lots of my strategic operations, and I'm going to continue to do so. And that obviously takes up quite a bit of energy. Also, I am 1 turn away from being able to build my spires. But obviously for each spire I need 50 Cosmite. But I have got plus 23 Cosmite on each turn, which is pretty good. And if I get integration with the spacers, which I'm not far off, I think I'm at 45. I believe I need to get to 70. So it's another few more quests. I may be able to use some of my influence to buy another unit that helps push it up as well. If I can get integration, then I get a bonus of plus 5 Cosmite and plus 2 influence as well by having the NPC dwelling as part of my colonies. I have to annex it to one of my colonies, which is another reason why I may want to build a colonizer. So I may want to clear out District 7 so I can pop a colonizer then and then annex Outlandish Shantytown. Unless I can do it with Karkalos, that may be able to do so quite soon. All right, so I think that's everything, and I will catch up with you in a few turns. Right, so we've just moved forward 1 turn, and as you can see, I tried the Infiltrate Operations Center again. My odds were slightly less, but it was in my favor this time, and as you can see, my Operation Defense of Vorath has been reduced by 4 versus our operations, and also all non-covert special operations secret technology revealed, which means that now we can go and check out Vorath, see what he's up to. I believe it's in his background, does it show? Or is it in his relations? Either way, one of the main things is that we can now do our disinformation campaign. And there we go. We've got a 65% chance. We're going to launch that. Yeah, there we go. So race relations dropped by minus 300 for 15 turns. So that's pretty powerful. So he is not going to be popular with anybody. And that's going to work very much in our favor. Also, I would expect the NPC factions to start attacking quite a lot. And that's going to work very well for us. Then obviously I've got my energy siphon and research taps are going to be coming soon. And I may just use this disinformation campaign again once I have a little bit more influence. Either way, our biggest threat at the moment, we've hopefully done some damage, and we've discovered the personality trait, which is mercantile. So more peaceful and cooperative. I wouldn't have believed that at all from Vorath, considering he has been the most warlike of all of them. But there we go. So quick little update, and I will now move forward. I'm now at turn 54, and I've been rearranging things. Most of all, my units. So one of the things that I've done is all of the units that I've kind of picked up, either from buying from NPC factions, getting from quests, like my piglets and my spacers. I've put them all into one unit and one army, because otherwise they affected my ability to be amphibious, and I would have to board onto a ship in order to be able to go offshore, and that was causing me issues on doing quests. One funny thing though was that I had a quest here at Dogged Docks, and fortunately for me, the Kirko, who I've got a defensive pact with, decided to attack that very that quest for me and completed the quest, so I didn't have to go up there, which has never happened to me before. That was interesting. Now I can annex another sector for Ivory Fortress, but I can't annex a third water sector and exploit it, so I need to use Broken Boulder Mount. But unfortunately I've got 2 hazards there. I've got a geothermal instability and a spore cloud, so I'm currently waiting for this spore cloud to be cleared off, which I think is next turn. Let's double check. Yeah, so that's next turn, and then I can go off and then deal with that. I can also annex another sector for Karkalos, but I'm waiting to get enough to receive integration so I can get the dwellings from the spaces. But coming back to my units, I've also now got the firebrands trained up and also the tacticians trained up as well. Now the tactician, I'm building a tactician somewhere. Here we go. I'm building a tactician right here, so that's going to be in 3 turns. But I do have some firebrands. There we go. There's one right here. And you'll see the way that I modded it is I've given him the gauntlets, which gets the ability to gain essence charges for melee, so that's specific to melee, and gives me 10% damage. But then on top of that, I've added the cavitation module, which gives me another 20% damage. But also, this is really good for melee units. So I use the one that's the sonic one. Let me see what it's called. No, not that one. Yeah, so the acute pitch I use on ranged units, and then I use the reverb or the cavitation module in this unit because it deals damage to the unit and its adjacent allies. So normally as a melee unit, you're kind of in the scrum, so you got more chances of affecting other units that way. And then I've given myself a 20% bonus on my lasers, but also gives me a bonus on my melee. So you can see now my staggering force, which is when I take a run up with the firebrand, is now up to 30. So that is really, really nice. And then obviously I've got my essence in there as well. And in every unit I have an army, I have a siphoner with me as well, so that I can redirect essence as and when I need. I am currently training up the arc, which is a better version of that. But that's going to be another turn away. But then I will start building up my armies. Now, one of the interesting things is I managed to find Ava down here. So where there's my little unit. So I'm going to keep on moving him around. Now, I actually formed an alliance with Ava. So in fact, I can just go straight through her territory, which will be a little bit easier. But I still haven't found this Vorath. I have no idea where he is. As you can see, I'm uncovering quite a bit of the map, as you can see from down in the corner here. But I have forged an alliance with Ava. Now, Ava is currently at war with both Vorath and Fomita. So Vorath is not a problem because I'm at war with him anyway. But Fomita, I wasn't. But Fomita's been causing me problems and broken a non-aggression pact. So I am thinking of attacking Fomita. And as you can see, his hero's right here with a strength of 943 and then an army of 1253 and 793. Now, I do better than that. I have, as you can see, I have an army of 1100, another army of 1300, an army of 1200, and then I've got an army up here as well, which is 988, but will soon be over 1000 once I get the siphoner. And also I will swap out the recon unit and replace it with a tactician as and when that's built. But funnily enough, apparently my might capability is 6 out of 6. So apparently I have the worst might capability of everybody, which I find quite surprising. Especially as it seems to think that Fomita is either 1 or 2 in that list. But what I'm thinking of doing is attacking Fomita, but the problem is he's got all these mountain ranges in a way, as you can see here on the screen. And but I might be able to just run around my territory, go through Neokor, right down to Home Valley, and hopefully he won't have moved too far. And I'm going to see if I can quickly take him out, and then swing round through Galaxis Mons and Twisting Sands to get to Ovidar, to then finally get round to Selineth. Now there's some more units down here. I don't know who they belong to, whether they're Marauders or Femitar's armies. But I'm glad now that I popped this monitoring station down here and left it down here. And it's because it was in the mountains, it was left untouched. So I think that's going to be my plan. I think I'm going to go to war with Fomita because of the fact that Ava is already at war. And so that should be keeping him busy, weakening him a little bit. And I should be able to take advantage of that and take some more territories. So that's the plan, and I will catch up with you in a few turns once we know where we're going with that. I've literally moved forwards 1 turn to turn 55, and Vorath decided to offer me a truce for 10 turns, which is absolutely fine because I have no idea where he is anyway. But as you can see on my screen right here, call to war from Ava against Fomita. So that's great because I don't need any Casus Belli or anything, and I can just go and attack Fomita straight away. So I am going to definitely accept that. Actually, let me just do it through here a bit quicker. There we go. So I'm going to accept. Yeah, no problem, darling. We are going to war. And we will go and attack Fomita. And obviously that's going to upset Raxoni, so I'm going to be a little bit careful because Raxoni is just to the south of me. But I am going to run down with those units as quickly as I can and see if I can take out Fomita. We shall see. So we've moved forwards again, just one turn. Everything is happening at the moment. So as you can see, I was moving down to chase Fomita. Fomita jumped through the teleport and is apparently going to attack Chin. I can see him up here. So we're probably going to have to chase him up there ourselves and then double back and come back to his capital. But in the meantime, I've had Ava's now asked me to do a call to war against Vorath. Now that's causing me problems because I can't accept that. And I'm going to have to decide later and just leave it for a few turns because I have a truce with Vorath for 10 turns. But I suppose it's better off that I break the truce with Vorath than drop my alliance standings with Ava. So yeah, caught in a bit of a diplomatic situation there. On top of that, we've now got this world event going on, which basically if I generate energy and knowledge, that gets turned, 50% of it gets turned into production and comes to 25%, which means I can build stuff faster after I've done it. Now that's for 5 turns, so potentially I can put things on the back burner, but I already have Chrome Citadel, Ivory Fortress, there you go, in 2 turns, so we'll keep that going. So we'll get a little bit of a bonus from that. So I'll make that knowledge, so we can convert that knowledge as well into production and get a bit of a bonus. In fact, it reminds me, as I see him down there, I can now go and get rid of that spore cloud. So let's do that. And then in 3 turns time, I'll be able to get rid of the other thing, the geothermal hazard, and then we can annex that sector. So yeah, so there you go. Quick little update. Still chasing to Fomita. Once again, 1 turn forward, and we're at turn 58. And as you can see, Fomita's not in a good place. He attacked this colony, the Disrael, which belonged to Chin, and left himself pretty weakened by it. Now I'm here with 4 armies, and I can even see Chin here. He's brought all his buddies as well. So we're all going all out on Fomita. It looks like they're trying to get through the teleport as well to probably go do exactly what I was going to do in a minute. So yeah, that's pretty good. I can see as well I've got my refractor deployment done. So that is great. So what we'll do is we'll do accelerated sound waves next. That means also that I'll be able to put my hero. Is it this hero I can put into a refractor? No, one of my heroes has got advanced piloting. I will figure it out afterwards, I think. For now, we just want to make sure that we go all in. Oh, there we go. There is another army there, but we should be able to deal with that without too many issues. I believe we should be able to. In fact, what we'll do is just beforehand, let's see what we can do in terms of strategic operations. Target enemy takes 20% of their current vitality and damage and have -3 essence cope, I think, for 1 thing on the world map. Okay, so which is the strongest unit? It will be that one at the back. Yeah. So let's do Curse of the Aztec on you. Okay, only 45% chance. Okay, but they've still taken some damage. Right, and now let's just roll in. Okay, low risk battle. We're going to lose some units, but that's fine. I'm ready for that. Especially if we've got Chin helping us out. That should work out fine. So let's have a look. Yeah, we've had a unit that's had a pustule. How did we get a pustule? Okay, fair enough. It's probably because of my spacers. Yeah, so they poisoned and created. So we lost a spacer, we lost an infiltrator, and we lost another spacer and the rabid piglet. Okay, so we didn't really lose many of our units. Oh no, here we go. We lost a fair few. Yeah, so that was a pretty costly fight. But you know what? I'm okay with that because we can recharge pretty quickly, far faster. Our commander's leveled up as well. I think I'm going to save those points for, 5 skill points there. I'm going to save them and try and get piloting advanced as well for a Nolus rocket. Oh, now I've got a call to war from Chin against Raxoni. Right, that's, okay, I've got my work cut out, as you can see. And there's still 1 army left there. Who's that? Oh, it's a pustule just left behind. Okay, right, so I can see I lost 1 from there, 2 from there, 2 from there, and then this army lost 5. Wow. I didn't lose any heroes, so that's fine. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to double back, I think. Oh, I can pick up some goodies as well. Oh no, we can't because we'll break the alliance, unfortunately. All right, so we did the work for Qin, but we took out the Fomita. So what we're going to do is we're going to run around quickly back to our own colony. We're going to build some units quickly, and then we're going to head on down to attack Fomita now that we've weakened him quite a lot. All right? All right, so we're now at turn 61, and things are definitely progressing, and I think I know the route I'm now going to take in regards to aiming for a win, and that is simply to defeat Fomita, defeat Raxoni, and defeat Vorath. But the reason why I say that is because I've managed to now forge an alliance between Qin and Ava. Now, Qin, if I remember correctly, is an alliance with myself, and Ava is in an alliance with myself. And so the moment that I can defeat these three people, then we should be able to then win. But also, at the moment, Qin is busy. That's him here, actually, believe it or not. I did see him just before he moved. He's making a move on Fomita. Ava has called me to go to war with Raxoni, which I'm now going to do. So her first colony is here down in Telendril. So I need to get a recon unit down there. As you can see, I'm moving all my armies down. I'm building them up as I'm going along. So I've got a tactician here waiting already. I'm building another firebrand and then another tactician. So it's going to take 4 turns. And over on this side, I'm building 3 modded raiders. That's going to take 3 turns. And on top of that, I have also achieved integration with the spacers. And this means that I can now... Oh, I need 100 influence to connect. So, okay, so on the next turn, I can do that. So on the next turn, I will connect that. And on top of that, I can ask the spacers to go and attack Raxoni for me. So they're going to help me out as well. So I'm teaming up with everybody. Everyone, clearly the lizard people have got some charisma. Obviously, I've got to keep on training these things up. I need to train up my Cosmite, which I've just done. So that's adaptive exploitation. So I need to sort that out. And our research as well. These are the kind of the prime things that I'm focusing on. So as I've just completed that, I can put that after these 3 turns and put my next Cosmite Harvesting Center, which will get me up to 33 Cosmite per turn, which is really good. And I might as well push up my production sectors bonuses as well. I should be able to do that on Silicon Valley. There we go, production centers, and we'll push that up the priority list, as production is going to be my main focus. And can I do it on this one as well? Yeah, there we go, 1 sector. Right, so that's going to take effect straight away. We might as well build a unit while I'm here. I've got 48 Cosmite. In fact, why don't we build an arc as that's available to us. So we'll produce that. It doesn't take any Cosmite, and it'll only take a couple of turns. So we'll push that up so that it's ready with the other units, as I'm a little bit short because I lost so many units in this one. What else could I do? Let's build units that don't require any Cosmite or a quick, one of the two. Now I can build myself another raider. There we go. So that'll take 1 turn, and we'll pop them up the list there as well. And that will sort out the ranks. So I'm going to spend just a few turns just building up my armies again. I really need to build a recon as well, so I need to put that in there. The recon is going to be right at the top, obviously. Because I have so much, I have a lot of energy. I will do a build now. In fact, I won't do it here. I will do it down in Silicon Valley. I can just build a recon in 1 turn, and then he's already kind of in the right area. So let's move him up. There we go. Build now, 208 energy. There we go. So I now have my recon, and I can send him on his merry way down to check out the situation with Raxoni, and I can make sure that I apply my deploy monitor so it's already ready. Ready to deal with that. And then finally, accelerated sound waves has given me some more mods, so not so bothered about that one. Tactical operation is good though, which is similar to the mod, but actually what I want is the kind of perfect resonance, which is a 30% bonus to damage, which is good. And we've got a really good tactical operation there as well. It's one of those like acid rain for the Amazons, where at the end of each turn, 5 turns, you affect every single enemy unit. So that's pretty good. So that's high up on my list. If you've seen my video on the Shakan. I actually don't really care about the Sonokan. I think it's underpowered. So I'm not going to bother about that and make sure I train up everything else. All right, catch up with you in a few turns and we'll take it from there. Turn 63. And as you can see, I was doing a great job here of building up my armies. And you can see there's a butt coming, right? So you see army power 1468, really good mix. I've got a tactician in there, got a firebrand, got some siphoner. I've got my raiders all modded up. I still need to mod up my tacticians, which I could do in a sec. I will do that in a sec. And then I'm building a couple more units to fill up this last little pack here with some raiders and some infiltrators, especially as I'm training up cast advancements, which gives me +2 shields, a +10 damage increase on my infiltrators. But I was about to make my move on Raxoni, and as you can see, I can see she's down here. And I was just coming in now with my little recon unit to take a look when I spotted Voidbringers. The Voidbringers have arrived. And these guys don't mess about. You can see army power of 1958, 1958. And then another army right behind it with 1903 who've just appeared in my areas. I can't see any of their kind of bases that they have, which they land on. But I'm going to have to double back and deal with that. So I think we will go into episode 3 at that point because we have a cliffhanger. Do I double back and deal with the Voidbringers? Or do I go and attack Raxoni? Or if I double back, will she attack me? But as you can see, I'm now frantically building up my military infrastructures as quickly as I can. But I don't think 10 turns is going to be fast enough somehow for Ivy Fortress or for Chrome Citadel. So we're in a pretty dangerous position. Luckily, Neo, my capital city, I did kind of build it up early on. We are going to get our Cosmite in 3 turns though, so that's a winner. In fact, I need to move that up just to keep the spacers happy. I have integrated my spacers into my colony, but I can't use the spacers to attack Raxoni, Fomita, or Vorath, as they're all friends. So they won't attack their friends, which is unfortunate. So there you go. So we're going to wrap it up there. I hope you liked that. Please give me a like if you did, dislike if you didn't. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications, and you can catch me on Twitch Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's all the blurb. That's all for now. See you next one. Bye.